compassionate people? Welcome to Vegan News. Tons of stories this week. Yes, I shaved my head. Let's ignore that. And let's dive right in. White Castle is now offering Impossible Burger sliders. If you're not familiar with the Impossible Burger, it's actually made with plant-based heme, which gives it the exact flavor that people tend to be missing when they eat a plant-based burger. It actually tastes like blood, and I can pretty much confirm this. I had one not too long ago, a week or two ago at a restaurant not too far from here, and it was a pretty amazing burger. It's not something I would eat all the time, but it pretty dead on nails the way I remember meat tasting. Burgers tasting. CEO Pat O'Brien thinks that they've finally come up with a recipe that's going to compete with flesh versions of hamburgers. He had this to say: "We are after 100% of the market, not a niche of people avoiding meat or being health conscious," Brown told The Guardian. "To capture the whole market, you have to deliver whatever it is that the consumers value from that category of product. People have been making veggie burgers forever, but not trying to make something that replicates the craveable experience that meat lovers enjoy." The Impossible Burger sliders at White Castle will be served at 140 locations, mostly in major cities throughout the continental United States. Yes, I hear you. No, it's warm outside. We'll go for walkies. New York, New Jersey, Chicago, and many others are all on the list. So if you're in that area, be on the lookout at your local White Castle. And now I'm craving one. Great. A nursery in the UK has several parents up in arms. One mother took to some mother forums online to complain that the nursery has gone to a plant-based diet across the board for all individuals enrolled. She was upset that they supposedly weren't notified of the change, and several women joined in on the complaints to the nursery. The change was made by the nursery's deputy manager after she had returned from maternity leave herself. A small snippet of the complaints that came in, I'm not gonna go over all of them. You can check the article in the link, whether this is on Facebook or YouTube. But one small snippet is this: "This has really got my back up, as I feel we are being railroaded and making our children vegan without a choice. No option of meat or fish!" Exclamation mark. Yes, they are being pretty ridiculous. Obviously, they're still capable of doing whatever they want at home, and if they don't like the nursery, why don't you just unenroll your children? A business has the right to make whatever decision they want to, so God forbid your children eat some plants and not grow up with heart disease and blockages, and maybe have some compassion that transfers over to other humans, etc., etc. Let's go there. And great news for people in Australia: the Beyond Burger has finally made its way to the continent. One of the more famous places that has it available right now, Lord of the Fries. Very clever. I've seen their stuff before here and there on social media, and if you're familiar with them, they're going to be one of the first in Australia to be serving the Beyond Burger. If you haven't had it, you might like it. I personally don't. It smells and tastes like liver to me. Maybe if you're transitioning or you're new, maybe you'll be all right with it. I'm not sure. It's one of the things you just got to test out yourself and see what you think. If you're not familiar with the Beyond Burger, it's kind of like a step up from their Beast Burger, except it's actually sold here in the United States at many places right next to the actual flesh burgers and in the meat department of a grocery store, so that they can get that market. They're actually not after vegans with it. Like I said, it's one of those things you got to give a try and see if you like, but it's cool. You guys got one more option out there. Australia is quickly becoming one of the most vegan nations on earth, along with Israel. So it's very impressive. Awesome. Great news, right? Usually the UK is the one to get everything. And finally, our story of the day is about the YouTube shooter. And we're going to talk about this a little bit. But first, another creator I ran into while browsing through YouTube, I found a video where he goes over the ridiculousness of how the media has presented the fact that she's vegan and the shooter at YouTube, and those are the only two things that seem to matter when it's being reported. So let's cut to a clip. I'm not going to play all of it because he's got like a 20-minute clip of this, which just shows how ridiculous the media has been about it. Anytime a vegan does anything or dies or anything happens, it's because they were vegan, right? But here's a clip. His name is Foot Soldier on YouTube. He goes by Vegan Foot Soldier on Facebook. There'll be a link at the end of the video to his channel. If you're on Facebook, he'll be linked in the description. And yeah, check this out quick.
Vegan activist opens fire at YouTube. YouTube shooter who was angry over video postings named as vegan activist crazed YouTube shooter, a liberal vegan animal rights activist. YouTube shooter was vegan activist. YouTube shooter Nassim Agdam, a vegan activist. YouTube shooter identified as animal rights activist. YouTube shooter identified as Nassim Agdam, a vegan woman. YouTube shooting suspect a vegan animal rights activist. So if you haven't already seen this all over the news, some woman waltzed into YouTube headquarters, started shooting people at random, and she injured 4 people who were rushed to hospital, and then she shot herself and killed herself. We've seen all in the headlines her motivation, that she was vegan. We've seen why she did this, because she was vegan. We've seen what drove her over the edge to do this, because she was vegan. The entire storyline surrounding this entire thing, there's no other detail which you need to know apart from this woman was vegan. Everything else is irrelevant. Any other detail was irrelevant. The fact that she was totally crazy, and if you watch her videos, it's like, what the fuck is this?
به جمهوری اسلامی اونجا با تبر سر میبرن اما اینجا با پنبه سر.
What is going on here?
So as you can see, the media has been pretty crazy, and that video goes on and on and on and on. Thanks to him for allowing me to use his footage. I asked ahead of time, of course. And like I said, check his stuff out. It's pretty good. I like it. And he's definitely got some amazing vegan content that's very helpful in my opinion. Nassim Agdam, I may be pronouncing that wrong. She also goes by Nassim Sabs. She has her own website. She's pictured right here. She went into the YouTube headquarters and started shooting. Her complaints were basically, she thought they were being racist against her, demonetizing her videos, things that every creator's had problems with on YouTube. And like I said, the big part of the story is the way, I mean, if you look at any of her videos, she's absolutely just not mentally stable. You watch any of her videos, she's a crazy person. She is nuts. And to just focus on the vegan part and not the fact that she was just mentally unstable, which has nothing to do with what she eats or how she feels about not hurting animals. I'm really tired of the media's response being like this, but it's only going to get worse as time goes on and we get larger in numbers, because we all know that's what's going to happen. The future is definitely vegan. And we've seen this in similar stories. You know, anytime there's a toddler with malnutrition or a baby, or the baby dies, they blame it on the fact that the parents were vegan. No, they were just dumb. They sucked at feeding their kid, or they didn't know how to, they just didn't care, or they were abusive. Who knows? This was a very sick person, and nobody in our community is cheering for the fact that they went in there and killed a bunch of people, or attempted to. The only person that actually ended up dying is herself, but many, there was 4 or 5 people that were injured. There's not a ton of reports about them, and a lot of it's conflicting, so I'm not really using that information. And really, she was just a sad person that had some grief with YouTube and took it to a level that was too far. It was too far. So that's everything, guys. Thanks so much for watching. There's going to be a movie review of The Last Pig coming out in the next probably 4 days or so. And I'm also going to be reviewing the first vegan-themed horror movie, at least feature-length horror movie by Hans Sturzword. I'm never really, it's Swedish. His last name's Swedish. It's this, whatever that is. That's his last name. I'm not good at pronouncing these things. Sorry, buddy. He gave me a screener copy to watch. I watched it. I highly recommend The Farm. It's a very Trojan horse kind of movie for veganism. It's going to get into people's psyches and allow them to see it from the animal's point of view. And the way they do it is very good. It's something I actually thought about doing a long time ago, and I think I've heard several other people talk about this idea as well. So definitely check that out. I'll see if I can get a link to where you could buy it, rent it, whatever. If so, that'll be in the description. I got to ask him about that. But until next time, thank you guys so much. Love you all. Bye.